I'm sorry.
We all live.
We live here,
Oh, I thought we were live too, child.
I did as well.
How many times I gotta use
what
y'all know we not
poppin'?
live corner? Y'all special.
Okay, go ahead. See my bad, boo. My bad.
What is poppin'? You good, boo? What's going down, T-Subs and Squad? So listen, as promised, we are here to give our interview to Mr. R Guy from GStatus ATL Hustle Money. Scotty, I see you in the background. I'm gonna have to switch you out back and forth because StreamYard got me together. They only allowing you 10 people if you paying, and I ain't paying $20 for this shit. So I'm gonna switch myself in and out with Scotty, and we gonna get this thing in the swing. So before we get down to all of the nitty-gritty stuff, I gotta ask you, our guy, do you mind just telling us, exactly what it is that you do and how did you get connected to GStatus?
Yes, so I am a singer-songwriter. I'm a makeup artist. I'm an actor. And I like to think of myself as a master creator, which is something I also get paid to do.
Run me my coins, niece.
Yeah. So how I got GStatus, I was not intending on auditioning for GStatus or anything like that. I was fond of the show, of all the reality web series out there. GStatus was one I was like, if I had to be on one, that's the one I would want to be on. Anyway, at the beginning of GStatus, I had a friend who was working a part of production and said, hey, we got you a meeting, not a guaranteed spot on the show, but you can meet the producers and production, and if they like you, you may land on the show. So that's what happened. I went to a meeting with, it was like a panel. I felt like I was walking to the boardroom or something. And it was probably about 6 to 7 people sitting down, and everybody was spitting out questions. And of course, Ja was there, and a few other people. And so got a call a couple days later saying that, hey, yes.
And how long have you and Charlie been friends? Because I know y'all are real friends outside of the show.
I haven't really counted, but I'm gonna say it's been at least about 6 years. 6, maybe.
Oh, okay. At
Morehouse College, which we both attended, and I was actually working for Morehouse at the time. I was over their homecoming fashion show with Spelman. I did the hair and makeup for the Morehouse and Spelman College fashion show for about 8 years. So, yeah, I was in Morehouse for 8 years as well as giving them tuition.
I know that's right.
That's right.
At Charlie though, and he was modeling in one of the shows that my team was working on.
Okay, all right, okay. I am here for it.
Okay, so riddle me this, Batman. So, we have seen you maybe a sum total of 7 minutes since in the last 3 episodes. I'm trying to be generous because they get pop y'all in and pop you out. Why so shady, friend? Why so shady?
Not see episode 2.
Episode 2, y'all was in it for like maybe 45 seconds at the...
But
are y'all considering episode 2 the second hour of the movie, or episode 2 is what they showed as episode 2? Because there's a bit of confusion.
As episode 2 is episode 2.
Okay, so y'all was there for 45 seconds when y'all said, "Ooh, child, we going to DTLR. We not going to this dinner." That's all we saw.
Even though I was not physically there, what I said and what I was speaking about happened.
Right.
That's true. You right.
So your discernment kicked up, and
yes, I'm a PK, and when your discernment and your wisdom and the Lord said, "Don't go," you don't go. And
Well,
so that wasn't going to be an option. Like I said, I didn't feel comfortable meeting a large group of people in that type of setting for the first time. I felt like that was too much pressure. And again, walking into situations, I like to know what type of energy I'm gonna surround myself with. And that's just a personal choice. It's not that I think I'm better than anybody or that I don't want to be friends with anybody, but that's just what it is. And I am a native of Atlanta, and I have been within the community for a very long time, from ballroom to the show club scene, all of that. So I know a lot of people. I have gay kids, I have a gay family.
Okay.
People come to me and they talk. So I already knew, the juice, the tea, and the coffee, a lot of these girls before I even met them. And that's just what it was. So, there was no interest for me going to that. And as y'all saw, we had a great time. If you have not seen episode 3, but we had a great time at the DTLR fashion show. We got to network with so many people. And we also got to meet Megan, who was very sweet. And, that was a great experience for us. So, I mean, I don't regret anything that I said. I don't feel like I was overly shady. And I think that y'all are very biased because people can say somebody pussy stank and nobody say nothing about that.
we just didn't get there yet. Wait a minute.
But
I think we biased. You think that we are biased?
I've watched several of the reviews, and I feel like a lot of people were very biased, especially in the beginning. In the beginning, first episode, 2 hours long, the movie, yes, definitely began. And that was across the board. I felt like a lot of people misjudged Charlie and I, and they attacked us for physical things as far as our hair, the way we dress. We're on a reality show, and unfortunately, some people got it and some people don't. I don't feel like we should be apologetic for the kind of we are and what we want to portray. Fashion is a freedom of expression. So you may choose to wear a certain lipstick. I may choose a certain lipstick. That don't make my lipstick better than yours just because you choose a different color. And I just feel like, what we had on was a huge topic. And then we was throwing some type of shade that was like breaking somebody's mama's back. Can nobody tell me something that I said that was so super shady, worse than what Akeem, Devon, and even some of the stuff Sherrod was saying?
But listen, I gave it to everybody who was extra shady. I gave them something because what for? Why is that even necessary? Now, yes, about your fashions, I may have been a little. I didn't appreciate the fashion as much as somebody who's maybe more worldly. That could just be because I'm an old lady, but you can't wear all of these things and then and be on this show and then have people review the show and then don't expect them to comment on what is being shown to them. But
people to comment, but I just feel like people did not comment on other people's fashions, which are questionable. That
I did.
I did.
I don't recall. I don't recall talking about people's fashion because I don't really care about fashion.
I don't really get into the fashions too much either. But can I say? I want to say this first of all.
I stopped wearing coats with no shirt and you got Vaseline on your chest. You look crazy, and I said that in my review.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
That's a lot.
Stop dressing like you extra and Horton Hears because you look crazy. But that's just from your old auntie point of view. Some things is just not gonna vibe with my spirit. And if you look like you just stepped out of Eveline's dungeon as one of the flying monkeys, I'm gonna say, baby, you look crazy to me.
But why he couldn't look like a black king? Why he couldn't like an Egyptian goddess or
because that's not the reference that came to mind when I looked at him.
But that's what I saw. So,
okay, well that's wonderful. That's absolutely wonderful. That's not what I saw.
But here's the thing, though.
And people didn't like my.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm sorry, Scott.
Right. No, here's the thing. If you saw him as like an Egyptian goddess, right? Like that's what you're speaking on because that's what you saw. They obviously didn't see that, so it's like everybody has what they see. And again, I ain't say shit about no fashion because I don't care. But go ahead.
Well, I want to say this. And I hear you, and I want you to know that I'm receiving what you are saying. But I want to say this first of all. Charlie was one of my favorites from last season, so I was disappointed because I feel like he showed up this season with a whole new vibe. Charlie was not, and again, Shady is Shady. I don't care about the shade. Like, okay, but some of the stuff, and you said that people can't pick out anything. Some of the stuff that you and Charlie, and especially in that first episode, that movie, y'all said some stuff that was just downright mean. And for you to be like, your whole attitude is, I'm better than them. They are beneath us, and they don't deserve our time. Now, if that's how you feel, that's fine. You can feel that way.
Said that.
That is what you said. When y'all were at that store, you were like, we are better than them. Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I thought they said that in like a joking way, though. That's why.
Actually, I don't think it was them as a unit. That was more so like
that was Charlie.
Well,
and you know what?
But that's what I'm saying. I'm saying Charlie was one of. I don't think I was biased because I was disappointed because Charlie was actually one of my favorites from last season. I love Charlie.
But can we all agree that?
I think people took it.
Can we all agree that we said everybody was nasty?
Yes.
Can we agree that we said everybody was being nasty? Complete, especially in that first episode, everybody was being nasty.
Because I feel like I gave it to Tremel. I feel like Tremel was being real shady and extra. But again, I don't want to nitpick, but I'm just saying I feel like I was equal opportunity.
Okay. I don't think there's a chance, but maybe as the season progresses, we'll see. But I mean, that I was right about the dinner.
You were right.
You was right about the dinner.
And let's be clear, don't ever use Hakeem as your reason because he can't. You can't.
You never right.
We can't never. Don't ever.
That's never the right answer.
Okay, this is the thing. Do you think everybody? I want to make that clear too. Do you think that everybody that reviewed the show was biased, or do you think it was a certain group of people that was being biased?
That was a blanket statement across the board. I think from viewers to reviewers, I think some people were very aggressive. Okay. I don't feel like every person was. Just like people who didn't like what we had on, there were people who loved what we had on.
Exactly.
And love right there. So I mean, there was yin and yang to everything. I just personally have seen some people's reviews, and they have said some very things that I felt like was a bit aggressive in order for them to be coming out the woodworks of it being episode 1 when you don't know most of the new cast members that well. But again, you have to realize that we are not editors, we're not producers. So we record a lot of stuff.
Right.
But when you say that though, we only going by what we see. When you say that, okay, we know that y'all are not editors or anything like that. That's fair. But at the same time, as reviewers, we're only going by what they're giving us. So I always say that when I'm reviewing a show, and I think I made it clear on my review at the very beginning, don't take it personal. I'm just commenting on what I see. And when I get to interview you or whoever else, then maybe you can explain what actually happened. But I'm only going by what I see on the show. So just like y'all not editors, you can't help what we see. That's just what it is. Like,
for episode 1,
I have questions and commentary.
Oh God. Oh my liquor.
Okay, go ahead. Let Jamar go ahead first though.
Before he goes there, what I think happened with episode 1 is that Charlie kind of came out the gate at 100, and so I think he may have rubbed some people the wrong way initially, and because they felt a way about him at that time, when you introduced yourself as like his right-hand man, people kind of gave him shade by association, because I think that's what I did for episode 1, is that I gave him shade by association,
without him actually have done anything as an individual to deserve that type of shade. And so that's why I'm glad that we can kind of talk about the editing. We can talk about, you know, the nature of the show as it pertains to, you know, we said what we said, but they're going to show what they want to show. Like, it is for entertainment at the same time. So I'm glad that we can have a conversation about how I'm not, you know, in association with all of that that's going on. I'm my own person. And I think a lot of people gave our guy shade and associated because they felt the way about Charlie without having their own individual opinion about our guy as an individual from episode 1.
I agree.
Because I think I was pretty nice to our guy, to be honest. I feel like I was.
All right, Scotty, you were very nice and you said very nice things. Scotty, you did.
Oh,
Well, let me say
so
something.
nice.
Let
I
me-
feel
let
like
me-
maybe I was mean, but
well,
I
let me
tried to
say
be nice about it.
I think
First of all, let me say this. As a reviewer, and I can probably say this across the board for most reviewers, like anything, like they've been, I'm just to echo them, we only review what we see. If there's any blame or fault to be had, clearly that has to be with production and the people who are in charge of editing. And I can't speak to what Jamar said as being wholeheartedly true about episode 1, because like ReallyBTV said, when y'all were at that boutique, y'all were going in. Y'all were going in on people. I didn't have a thought one way or another about you from Charlie's listening party where there were like 14 people there, because you didn't say much. And so I didn't have any opinion on you. I was just, I didn't have any opinion. It wasn't, when I did my review, most of what I had to say about you came during the part where y'all were at that boutique and y'all were laying into people. Like, it was, y'all had a really elitist moment there, and it was like, okay, we're here and the rest of you girls are down there. And I think that was the impetus for you saying, I ain't going. That was why you said you weren't going anyway, because you said you don't need that. You were telling Charlie he doesn't need to hang with the likes of those kind of people, and that's why he shouldn't go to the party. Now you might have said I had discernment and everything like that, but that is what was displayed. Now that we're here having an interview with you, you can say, well, you know what, y'all, I know y'all reviewed and y'all saw it this way, but this is really how it was, or this is really what happened behind the scene that y'all didn't get to see. That's the one thing. But to come on and say, well, y'all was hard on me and y'all got it wrong, and not, try to justify and clarify, we can only go off what we see. And even from here on out, I know myself and some other reviewers, we do this. If you give me background information, our guy, I'm going to take that. But even when I do my reviews, I'm not going to use that in my review unless that's something that's shown on the screen, because that's fair. That's the only thing that's fair to my subscribers. They can only go by what they saw. I can only go by what I saw. And then we can have moments like this where you are allowed to come on and give clarity or explanations, or say, you know what, I'm not that way. You know what, they did edit me in a negative light. You know what, I know y'all said this about me and that's what y'all saw, but let me show y'all the real me, or let me show y'all that, I'm not this, horrible monster that they edited me out to be. And that's the whole thing I'm saying, because when I was I was backstage listening, and it sounded like you were just coming at us like, well, y'all was just mean to me, and we're just not mean for no reason, except people say I'm mean for no reason, but we're not really mean for no reason. There's always a reason.
I think it also has to do with perspective, because there are many people who looked at that and didn't see it the way that you guys saw it. So, I mean, I respect perspective. And at the end of the day, just as y'all felt like it wasn't as hard on me, I felt like y'all were, but we agreed to disagree. I'm here to explain myself, any questions that have been asked, I'm open to answer them. But I will say, nobody has still given me specifically what I said that was so bad. I want to know specifically what was so bad, because so far, what was quoted was something that Charlie said.
I don't know that we're going to be able to give you exact.
I don't think it was.
But
I don't think it was really anything that you said. I think what it was Charlie from, and I'm only speaking for me. Charlie came on just a little too strong for me, and it kind of seemed like, not that you was going along with it because that's your friend. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like he kind of is agreeing with him and the things that he's saying, and then it came off like you were shading people just a little bit too. So for me, it was just like, I don't really know how I'm gonna take him. But one thing that I do tell people is when I do my reviews, I just give my opinion and I get off. Like, I don't dislike you. I don't dislike him. I don't dislike Akeem. I don't know y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a dog in this fight. And it's through stuff like this where we can get to know you. And then it's like, you know what? He's not that bad. Maybe he really ain't mean it in that way. Because that's happened to me. You know, I was hard on some people until I did these interviews and I found out she ain't that damn bad. So, you know, that's personally why I'm glad that you did reach out. Because, you know, I'm not going to lie. A lot of us was giving you and Charlie the business. That's why I really wish Charlie could have been up here as well. So we can kind of see where his head is with everything and with everybody. You know what I mean?
I think you also have to understand our guy.
That we want people to understand is that even though I'm Charlie's best friend, I'm my own individual and I stand alone. I don't need Charlie, you know, to stand by my side to matter. So I think it's one of those things where even sometimes Charlie and I don't do things together just because of that stigma, guilty by association, and people won't allow me to be, and I'm the new person on the block. So of course, you know, I have to put in my time just like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, you know, it'll be great for Charlie to have his own moment that you all can speak to him and he can speak for the things that he said or for the things that y'all felt like, you know, was a bit too much.
I think that our guy, what you need to, what you have to understand too is on a show such as that, where you are in the public, you know, sphere, people are going to have their opinions one way or another. We get it as reviewers. We will put reviews out, and some people will love us, and some people will hate the dog crap out of us. And we don't. But we don't go back and say, "Oh, well, you need to understand me, and you need to understand that I didn't mean it." But we don't even feel the need to do that. We just put it out there. However, you know, they choose to digest it. They choose to digest it. People who authentically know us know, and you know, some of our loyal subscribers know. Well, you know, he like some people said, or he ain't that way. And it's only episode 2. Give it time. Because the way that the reviewers or, you know, people that watch the show view you may change, but you just got to understand, once you put content out there, people are going to take it and morph it into whatever they want to morph it into, good, bad, and in between. And so that's why you see a lot of times on some of the other actual reality shows on, you know, actual cable network television, they don't even respond to that kind of stuff. They be like, Charlie, they gonna say what they gotta say. It's gonna be I'm gonna be whatever the editing table, you know, who made me out to be.
And who knows what can be said.
I just want to say, I want you to understand that I understand what you're saying. I understand the process, as I stated before. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, and just as well as you people felt like certain things were shady, other people felt different. So I understand there's a balance to it. I got tough skin. It ain't nothing that nobody said that made me lose any sleep, lose no money, or get emotionally drained. You know, I'm just speaking my piece of how I felt. I have done plenty of interviews. I have watched plenty of reviews. And and specifically to this group. We can move past that because I'm not dwelling on that. You know, we can move past that. I just stated my piece that that's how I felt. A lot of people were aggressive towards me and Charlie, you know, during the first episode especially. But now hopefully people will understand where I'm coming from. That's why I'm doing these interviews, and that's why I reached out to set the record straight so y'all can hear it straight from me.
Well, let me say this. I think everybody will agree when we say that if you thought we was aggressive to you, well, probably I think Silk the Shocker got it more than everybody. So Silk the Shocker got it worse than you and Charlie. And when I say Silk the Shocker, I'm talking about 4. He's got it worse than every goddamn body. Oh, I was.
I was.
Because I didn't appreciate him or anything that he had to say since he's been introduced. So, you know, he's not my
Oh, I think I did say he had a 4 IQ score. That probably wasn't.
But let's keep it on. I had to say that though to break the ice.
So, but I had actually joined our guys live earlier on a different interview. So can you tell us more about like your upcoming project? Because you do music as well. I know we hear a lot about Charlie's music, but we're gonna.
Where are the questions?
Can you hear me?
I don't think he can hear you. Our guy, so Jamar was asking about your next musical project that's coming up, and what is that going to be, and when is it dropping, and all that good stuff.
I apologize. So my next musical project is entitled Made. It's an acronym for Money All Day Every Day. It's a fun record, so it's not something too serious, but definitely something you can turn up and twerk to. I'm rapping on that, and so I'm looking to release that closer to the reunion of GStatus. But behind the scenes, I'm also working on an entire EP. So I have other music that I'll be releasing after I've dropped Made. I also have a movie coming out this month called Pastor Please. It premieres on the 13th. It's a private screening, but it will be available on all streaming platforms very soon. And so this is my first feature role in a short film. So I'm very excited.
On the 13th of August?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know because I'm in the Atlanta area. I might be in the Atlanta area during that time. I would love to come through and see it.
I will arrange that. Actually, tickets are sold out, but I can get you the hookup. I can get you in. And I'm also, as soon as I don't know if the COVID thing is going to get better, but I was in the process of traveling with the stage play called Closet Confession, which I've done for about 7 years now. I play a character called Stevie, which you will get to see on GStatus when we came to Atlanta, and that touring stopped once COVID hit, but we were in the process of touring with that stage play too, but you will get to see that on GStatus more. And of course, I'm still doing makeup. I'm in the process of writing 2 books. One is a cookbook and one is a fictional guide for dating within the LGBTQ community online. So if you can think of the movie Two Can Play That Game with Vivica Morris Chestnut in the LGBTQ book, that's kind of how it reads. So I'm working on that. So those are the main things that I'm focused on right now, is just building those separate entities. Meanwhile, I still work a 9 to 5.
What is your 9 to 5?
My 9 to 5
is asking.
I don't mind. I'm the department manager of cosmetics and here in Atlanta.
Okay. And I'm sorry.
Oh no, I just want to know if you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect.
Okay. Do you do a lot of singing in the stage play that you are a part of?
No, this stage play is a dramedy. So my character is the comic relief in the play. Okay. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm actually very naturally, I'm very silly and goofy. So I get to play a very outlandish, crazy character, and so I don't sing in this particular play, but you will get to see me sing, like I said, in my musical project EP.
So I had a question that I remember, that I just now remember that you mentioned in episode 1, because I am a avid watcher and reviewer of Drag Race as well. And I had heard that someone was asked to be on season 1 of RuPaul's Drag Race. So tell us a little bit about that, and who is Kimora?
So with RuPaul Drag Race, that was RuPaul Drag Race is on what season? I think like season 14. I don't know.
They're about to film 13.
Okay, so that was about 13 years ago. So that was a long time ago. That was before the first RuPaul Drag Race was ever. And the process was done online. And so I applied to do it. I did not even complete the profile, as they would call it, everything that they requested us to do. But I uploaded my pictures and my videos, and I got contacted by a producer and went through the process, because it's a process of realms that you have to go through. And the final decision is made by RuPaul himself. So when RuPaul made that decision that day, I got the call. And was super excited. What a lot of people don't know is that Zion, the one that Akeem was speaking to, is my gay father in the show community. I'm a part of the House of Chez. I also have a ballroom history. Part of the House of Chanel, not an active member though. And so Zion was one of the first people that I called, with the news to share that I got accepted on the show. And shortly after that, it kind of set in like, your father is a pastor, and he is still struggling with the idea of you being gay. I had just came out to my father during that time. We were going through our own turmoil situations. I just didn't want to add something to that. And this was during the time I was at Morehouse College. So, just being a kid trying to figure things out, I decided to pass on the opportunity, which I don't regret, but that's pretty much what happened. I still did drag here in Atlanta. I perform at all the clubs. If anybody who's familiar, at the Jungle, Chaparral, which later turned into Rush, Phase 1. I started out with Miss Sophia at Phase 1 back in the day when they used to have the strippers and the drag queen and the strippers and the drag queen. So I was in the game for a long time. I got to travel doing drag. I did pageants. I was one of the first Westland Angels, if you know anything about the gay pageantry system. So Star Sanchez and I started that pageantry system and put it on the map. So drag
I will say that I've seen your pictures, and I've seen a video or two of you in drag, and I will say you are a beautiful
Thank you.
drag. I will say that you were sick. I was like, nah, that bitch is sick in drag. Nah, just say what you want to say about it, boy. But in drag, that bitch is sickening. But let me ask you this. Now, this is going to be a little controversial, and if you don't feel comfortable talking about it, you don't have to. But I'm going to ask the question any damn way. So, the production team of this here show put out some stuff yesterday talking about if the people watching don't get the show to, what was it, 40,000 or 50,000 views, that they were going to withhold
40,000
the episode until the next day. What is your take on stuff like that? Because, and I ask that because here you all have gotten on this show, have agreed to be a part of this, and are thinking that they're going to do right by this show and do right by you all. I've never even heard of that in any amount of, show or anything like that. There's a schedule. It comes out now. If you don't get the viewership that you are supposed to get, you don't blame the audience. That's time for you to go back and reassess perhaps what you've done as the production team, or how you may need to reach your audience. And so my question is, what is your thoughts as a cast member? Because that could be messing up with the popularity of the show, which could affect you and how it helps, your brand and carry your name or get, you more views and clicks and, seeing more. How do you feel about that?
As a cast member, there's two sides to it. I understand a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes, and it really goes to, as a cast, we are coming together doing what we need to do to push the show. I do not feel like the audience should be penalized for those things, and I've already, we talk to production. It's like a family. I don't, we have a group chat that, everybody who's a part of the production and who's on the show, that we communicate in the good and the bad and the ugly goes in this chat. And this is something just amongst us. So as dysfunctional as we are still somewhat a family. And so, we fuss. We state our opinions when it comes to things like this because we feel like it should be consistent. GStatus is setting the standard for LGBTQ web series in this realm, and I feel like that is a part of the experience is consistency. So we want the show to come out every single week when they say it's going to come out. But the number one thing I remind people is, I am talent. We are talent. As much as you guys may love us or hate us, we are still just talent, and those decisions are not made by us. If production does not want to do it, they're not going to do it, and that's just how it is. But trust and believe they hear you guys. So when you guys are vocal about it, and you let them express them, they do listen to those things and take it into consideration. So you guys have to help us express those things and making sure that we are focusing on the right things that's going to really help take that next level, because people may not realize this, but GStatus is bigger than just the 10 people or the 12 people or whatever that you see, and so are these other platforms, facing realities of the, they're creating lanes where we don't have lanes so that we can then actual reality show and an actual show, and people will give us the same amount of respect as they give a platform that creates great content.
I agree.
I can't say that I agree totally, and I'm gonna push back on that. Because what you're saying, I'm saying I can't say I totally agree, only because professionalism is professionalism, and what ends up happening is, when you decide that you are going to have a standard and be professional, you cannot. Professionalism means that you don't hold the customers and the people to which you serve hostage. That is not how professionalism works at all. And even though, you might say that they're opening lanes, they may be closing lanes to themselves, because if you are a broadcast network television show, and you go and you say, well, let me look and see what they're doing, and you see some of the antics that they have going on like this, that's not professional. That's not something that will fly in the world of television broadcast. And so that's what I'm saying. And the sad part is, GStatus is getting numbers way better than some of the other shows of its kind. And so for it to not appreciate the amount of views that it gets, and for it to do things like that, that's biting the hand that feeds you. That's just unprofessional to me. So that's why I say I'm not going to say, oh, I agree with that or that's good. No, I'm going to push back on that and say absolutely not.
I agree with you. I was.
Oh, no. I know you said you agree with me, but I know Jamarwin said, well, I can kind of see where they were. I thought that's what.
Well, that's not what I would say. I would say I agree that he can't. He has no control over that. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
He has no control over that.
I want to say.
So there ain't really nothing he can say about it, really.
I mean, I'm a cast member, so I mean, all I could do is promote the show and be a cast member and build my brand. But I will say that, regardless of those things, I have actually worked on a lot of those networks, shows that we consider to be actual reality shows, and they have their own hiccups and they have their own situations. They make mistakes and things are not always as professional as it should be. And I've worked from Bravo to Viacom to VH1, even BET, which we know and love dearly. So things happen. I feel like what people need to understand as well is that GStatus is breaking barriers. We are on several platforms outside of just YouTube, which no other reality web series that is LGBTQ has done ever. So we are making history, and there are major networks that are considering taking GStatus on and taking it to newer and higher heights. So contrary to the unprofessionalism, people still see what GStatus is and the levels that it can go, and understand that this is a startup show. It's done on a minimal budget, minimal staff, and at the end of the day, they're trying to create great content for, again, underrated and underrepresented group of people who are not represented on a major platform. So, understand, we have our gripes and our complaints, but we also have to understand the hard work that goes into this. And some things behind the scene may not always be peaches and creams, but if you bear with us, we are doing the best that we can as a family.
I think so.
Okay.
Would you stay on for another season?
Say what?
Would you stay on for another season if asked?
Absolutely. I plan on being part of season 3. If production will have me. And to my knowledge, they don't think otherwise. So you would definitely see our guy on season 3 of GStatus. As well as other things. I want people to realize that GStatus is just the tip of the iceberg. There are other shows coming on Status TV Network. They are building an entire network for LGBTQ shows and people to create great content. I am executive producing 2 shows that will be coming out on Status TV Network as well. They're not reality shows, but 2 great shows, great content. So there are other things that will spiral from GStatus, not just the franchise that you see as itself.
And when you talked about we talked earlier about how you spoke about some of the other cast members and your thoughts about where they were, knowing what the premise of the show is and knowing what the show is supposed to be about. If you were in charge of casting for this show, what is the caliber of person that you would be looking for? And do you think everybody that's on the cast right now would make the cut if you were in charge of casting?
I can answer that very well. I think the caliber of people on the show is great. I think that we represent a diverse group of people. Everybody has their own style, their own thing. Even when it comes to being trans on the show, having that and having them as a main cast member, and someone who's not even necessarily African American, which you haven't really seen on other platforms before. I feel like everybody has some type of talent and some type of dream that they're working towards. The only person that I could say I would not, and I'm not cool with buddy with everybody on the show, but the only person I would say who is a main cast member that I would not have back for season 3 would be Ike.
Why?
Why not? What's wrong with Ike?
Well, Ike, he has his singing, and that's about it. But stops there. And it's already short. So, it's not really much that you can bring to the table when you have limited resources. So I just think that he doesn't bring that much to the table. And that's just being honest. I think Ike is very boring. And, if I was an executive producer, I would eliminate him and bring on somebody who also has talent and has the hustle aspect, but also has personality in that. Because I don't know.
It sounds like that there's more there. It sounds like there's more there. Yeah.
No, honestly, the viewers who watched the episode tonight when they were on a date were saying that they were bored during that scene. I mean, this is not a conversation that is just our guy driven.
I was.
A very global conversation that people are having, and they feel that way. So, no, there's no more. I can promise you, I am very much happy. There's no animosity. There's no nothing. I'm just being honest. You asked my opinion. That was my opinion. And there's other people on the show that I'm not even with.
Oh no, we're not. Hey, that's your opinion. Hey, I'm with you. I just asked, was there more that we?
Right.
I did not see that one coming.
Right, because that came out of left field. I was like, oh.
Well. So that's the only person you would delete. That's the only person.
The only person as of right now that I would not bring back for season 3 would be Ike. I feel like everybody plays their part to the puzzle. You know, we are very much different from each other. Some of us have things in common, but everybody has their unique touch. And I feel like, you know, everybody brings something to the table. You know, Akeem with his drunk ass and his outlandish ass. I mean,
okay.
Akeem, he makes me laugh. Every time I'm around Akeem, it's a key to me. And, you know, I'm very lighthearted when it comes to Akeem because I don't take nothing he says. You know, Delicious represents a community of people that needs to be seen and seen in a different light other than what the mass media portrays that community to be. You know, Tramel is a person who has shown his growth in trying to find himself and, you know, it challenged himself, you know, try new ventures. You know, Devon trying to grow as a person on the show and outside the show, and, you know, showcasing some real life issues and things that people go through. You know, Redrick is trying to build a brand. I mean, everybody is doing something, you know, so I just feel like there are people who watch the show and they instantly identify with me and they love me for whatever reason. They're drawn to me, and there's some people who watch the show and they fall in love with, you know, Mel, they fall in love with Devon or Charlie or Redrick, you know, and they're able to identify with that person. I feel like we represent a large part of people who don't see themselves, honestly, in a certain light. So I'm very happy with who's on the cast. I just think that we need to replace one.
Okay.
I mean, I see it. Like, when I can, you know, definitely see from the perspective, and I think it's like, because we're only on episode 3, y'all have filmed everything. You know, pretty much
over a year. We filmed GStatus for over a year.
Oh,
so a lot of stuff I'm seeing. I mean, these people have grown. You know, even myself, we have grown since those times, and we've learned the lessons. So that's what it's all about. It's all about, you know, going through the experiences and learning from those lessons, and growing as a person, forgiving each other, trying to do better. So that's what you're gonna get.
What would you change about this show in its current iteration right now?
I think that I wouldn't really change anything. I know the entire story. So a lot of things people don't quite understand when it comes strictly to the content on the show. I know where it's going, and I know the aha moment because I got to live it. So I think what production is doing is great. I think even in sometimes us being portrayed in certain ways, people may feel like we're too harsh, or we're mean. You know what? Maybe we need to see those things, and maybe some of us need to see those things and where we can improve in ourselves. So I think that the production is doing a great job telling the story that needs to be told, and we're again only on episode 3. We have 10 episodes to go and a reunion. So we haven't really even scratched the surface.
Well, I'm gonna just come right out and say they need to shorten the episodes. They need to do better on the editing table.
Hour now.
Yeah.
They need to do better on the editing table. Some of that stuff that they put out there is just too long. Some of the scenes are drawn out. It's just way too long. And then I gotta push back. I'm sorry, I'm push back guy today. Our guy, I'm sorry. But
I was prepared for you, boo. Come on.
For me, I ain't nobody. I'm just a little old LB.
Yeah.
You.
However, you said in the beginning when we were talking earlier about how y'all was real mean to us, or y'all didn't see it from me, or y'all was real mean to me, or y'all da 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 da. That has everything to do with the editing, production, and what they showed us, and the fact that they did not perhaps show the full scope of who you are and what you are, so you can even speak to yourself and how they edited you in episodes.
That's what I'm saying, Teddy, that the story's not over. There's a beginning, middle, and end. So we're still telling the story. So I felt like episode 2 vindicated me. I was not in that episode as much, but like I said, a lot of the energy that I had, a lot of the things that people felt a way about, or even didn't feel a way about, I said what I said, and episode 2 showed exactly why I said
you
that.
weren't in episode 2.
No, I was not. But that I was saying,
Yeah, he was.
In episode, I was in episode 2 a little bit, but the things, that's not the point what I'm making. The things that I was saying in episode 1, if people would really listen to what I was saying in episode 1, it played out in episode 2.
It's like, he was saying that like they're gonna act and behave a certain way, and you shouldn't necessarily be around that. And then the time came, and they acted the way that he said they were gonna act, and that's why he was at the show and not the dinner.
And you will see that a lot during GStatus. I'm gonna say a lot of things that.
But that might come because most reality shows take confessionals well after the main stuff happens. So if that's the case, you can easily talk about, well, this is going to happen in a confessional after you already know that stuff is going to happen.
Teddy, that wasn't a confessional, babe. That was the scene.
They said that in the store.
Oh, yeah. You said that in the store.
I did.
So, but if you know these people are beneath you, I'm going to go back to you said you would take nobody.
Teddy, you are taking it and running with it. So I'm gonna say this again. I do not think anybody's beneath me. Okay. I think a behavior and a mindset is beneath me. And I choose not to involve myself in situations. You don't know me from a can of paint, but I put myself in rooms with greats. People who I see myself being like and I want to be. And I don't see anything wrong with that. If I choose to be in a room with Megan and networking with business owners, that's what I'm going to choose to do. I'm not going to throw rice and be sitting here arguing with you because that's not going to get me nowhere. So that's what I was saying. You took what I was saying as a physical thing, as me saying I'm better than them, but that's not what I'm saying. I don't think I'm better than anybody. I'm on the same platform as them, so that makes absolutely no sense. That I filmed an entire season for over a year with these same very people that people, quote unquote, are saying that I think I'm better than. I just said if I had to do a season 3, that I would keep everybody on the show except for one person. So clearly, I don't think I'm better than these people because it's now say get rid of all them hoes. So, I mean, I think people need to get past, the physical, which I think a lot of people were focused on, and focus into the words that I was saying is about elevation. I was telling Char he needs to elevate and to put himself in realms and rooms of where he see himself going, regardless of what people have to say about him. He needs to put himself in rooms of where he sees himself going, not where other people think he should be. And clearly he shouldn't have been at that dinner, because if it was meant for him to be at that dinner, he would have been there. But he was right where he was supposed to be, and that was twerking with Megan, the stallion. And I mean, it is what it is. People can take it for more, but that's just what it is. It's nothing more, nothing less. That's just what. And I will not get off my chair. If that makes me to have a superior attitude, well, that means that somebody can check their confidence, and it's not me.
Wow.
Well, I'm gonna say this because I definitely don't want to stay on this topic, but I'm gonna say this, however, this is why we have the interview, so you can explain yourself, because again, at the end of the day, all people are gonna hear is the quote unquote we're better than that. That's all they're gonna hear. So when they see that, that's the first thing they're gonna do is think that, oh, this motherfucker think he better than everybody. Because I know my ass would think the same thing. But when you explain everything that you're saying, I get it.
And on
I mean, I can only speak for myself.
and I just want to say, I never said that y'all was being mean. I said bias, because there are people on the show that stood up and in their introduction said that they were that bitch and they was the queen of this. There were people who walked up and out of the gate was reading people and throwing shade and saying they was that bitch. And no, I'm not gonna say nobody, but a lot of people did not call them out for having a superior attitude. And I personally never said that I was better than anybody. I never said that. And if you can send me a screenshot of it, it's online. Please send it to me. But I never said that. Charlie,
but that's just like I never say that I'm mean, but people say that I'm mean all the time. That's just people's perception.
You can
Because
be
you are.
a bit rough, but I mean, I still love you, Teddy. I still love you, man.
I'm not mean. I'm nice.
You're a little rough. little pad
Why
rough.
are you lying? I'm really gonna need for you to stop lying.
Child, I watch. So unless you put it on for the camera, you can be a bit rough, but I still love you. We need people like you.
Would you say that everybody that's on cast is being as genuine as possible? Like they're the same on camera as they are off camera?
No.
And if who's putting on,
That's a good question.
Who's putting,
Right.
Yeah,
That's a good question.
Who's
putting on?
I'm gonna say I think a good 70% of the cast put on for the camera. Even some of the people's favorites, real people, definitely put on the camera that will be exposed at the right time. I think people felt like, okay, this is my moment, so I'm gonna make it count. Whether I got to lie, whether I got to steal, kill, beg, borrow, I don't care what it is. I'm gonna take my moment. I don't want to give spoiler alerts because I feel like if I start calling names, it will spoil some things. But I will say, you guys will quickly see for your very own eyes. A lot of these people are putting on for the camera, and there are some people who are being authentic. I think everybody during this season had authentic moments, but I also think they fakery and some phony too, just to add a little sauce on it.
But I mean, but at the end of the day, most, I would say 99.9% of the people who watch are never going to meet these people in actual real life. So the only thing that the reviewers or the people who watch can go off of is what they see. And the rest of it, we really, just, I don't want to say don't care, but we can't go off of that because we don't know these people in real life. So if that is what they want to put on, and that's what they want to put on, we're not going to be their friends. We're not going to end up being, they, cut buddies or nothing like that. It is what it is. And so when whatever comes out on the camera comes out, we just put it out there. I just want you to know this, our guy. If we drag somebody, that's because they deserve to be dragged based on what that individual thought they saw. If we're nice to somebody, that's because whatever we observed, that is what we saw. It could be that person putting on, it could be editing, it could be whatever. We don't have any personal ill will toward anybody, but it is because if I drag you, I haven't watched tonight's episode, but if I drag you by your skull out after tonight's episode, it might be because of what I saw. Not because I'm gonna find out where you live in Atlanta, roll up there and literally drag you. Because I don't fight. I don't do that. I don't do none of that fighting stuff. But I'm just saying. And so that's why we do the interviews in order to clarify. But I don't want you to do like you've been doing at times today, double talking and talking out of both sides. There have been times today on this interview you have kind of double talked a little bit, or a lot of it sometimes.
I'm not perfect, Eddie. If you wanted a robot,
I know you're not. I'm not either.
Okay, while you're over there sipping on your mimosa, whatever you sipping on, you could have made me one too, Teddy. I may have, but I hope that you just see my heart, and that's why I came on.
Oh, I know, and I do that, and that's why we do this.
I didn't come to me. I came to you. So that goes to show you that I'm.
No, you didn't. No, our guy. You reached out to everybody else in the Justice League. You did not reach out to me. Nope.
Hold on. I just if you actually go back to your page and look in your comments, I actually reached out to you as well because I did not have your IG. But nonetheless, receipts are everything. You can go look. And I'll that apology. Teddy just want to read.
That's the question I was just about to ask.
I say everything to say that if I really took it personal or felt away, I wouldn't even be here. So, you know, I'm not that type of person. I don't take it that serious. Like I said, you know, I've dealt with way worse. And as you get to know me, you'll see that I have a story too. I've been through things. So, I mean, people.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I have a question. Terrence, I always get at this stuff with people. It needs. Was that directed at me? You talk shit but can't fight? Oh no. Was that directed at me?
I don't know who that was directed towards. Do not put me on the spot.
Because see, I don't be fighting. That's why I carry 2 guns. I carry 2 guns so I don't have to fight. So I can just blow a bitch off the earth. And my handgun has rifle bullets. They don't carry regular handguns.
All I know is that when I walked back in, you said something about not fighting. And the next thing you know, I see you talk shit but can't fight.
Right. So I thought that was directed at me. You're right, Scotty. Wasn't that directed at me?
Listen, T-Subs and Squad, listen, we gonna keep things respectful, all right? Especially to the people that are on the panel and especially to our guests. All right, we gonna keep things respectful. Thank y'all for rocking and stay hanging up in here with us for an hour. We're gonna be up here for a little bit longer than we getting off. But please, if you respect me, please respect my people. That's all I ask. All right?
Thank you.
Y'all enjoy.
However, our guy, I'm gonna ask the same question. I'm gonna ask the same question that the cast me I was asking in the chat because that's the same question I wanted to answer to. Are you gonna film during the season? Are you filming with anybody else more besides Charlie? Because that's all we've been seeing you with since the show started. It's just Charlie.
Right.
I film
because I know. Oh, let me not cut you off. Let me just get this out too. Because I know in my review that I did tonight, I haven't posted it yet, but I did say it's coming across like they don't want to film with the rest of the cast. So just clarify that right there. That's what I wanted to know.
No, okay. So yes, to answer your question, yes, you will see me film with just about everybody who was on the cast. As a matter of fact, I did film with every single person who was on the cast. Not saying it was a one-on-one scene with every person, but yes, I did plenty of scenes with everybody on the cast. Again, we filmed for in a year and a half. So I mean, there are so many scenes, y'all, that sometimes when I see it, I forgot about it. And I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. So it's so much more, so much more to come. And it's not us. You know, we don't create the scenes. We don't tell people where to be or where to go or who to film with. So if you get a call, you know, contrary to belief, but GStatus is pretty professional. You get a call sheet for your scenes, and it tells you where to be and what time you're supposed to be there, what the weather's gonna be, who the PAs are, who, you know, and honey, you show up and when lights, camera, action, you go. So if you feel like there's a lot of just me and Charlie, you know, that's just for a time period. Everybody got a chance to kind of dip and dabble in with everybody. So, and I mean, we took a cast trip together. So, I mean, we actually stayed in a house together and went. Yeah. So, I mean, again, it's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. If people will allow us to get
okay. Okay, I just want to make that clear because I don't know if y'all show was kind of like you know how on Housewives and shit like that they be like, well, I don't want to film with her, so I'm not gonna film with her, or I don't want to film with this person. I don't, and I don't know if y'all show was like that.
We don't. So I have never told anybody. In production, y'all can verify with production. I've never told production that there was anybody I did not want to film with. Now, when there were physical altercations and things happen, there definitely have been conversations where like, that person's not around me, especially without security. But as far as me saying I wouldn't film with nobody, no. Even through the conflict, I filmed with everybody. Okay, when people were trying to throw shoes at me, and you know, I still filmed. So, I mean, it was never thing where we were isolated or made it seem like, oh, we wouldn't film with everybody else. We get to bond, we get to build a sisterhood and a brotherhood amongst each other. And again, like I said, as dysfunctional as we are still a family.
Is there anybody from the cast that you didn't really know going into the show that you build a long-lasting friendship afterwards?
Yes, Redrick, I would say, would probably be the biggest relationship. We've gone into business together as well as the friendship. And, we actually, Charlie, Redrick, and I, we spend a lot of personal time together. And Redrick is somebody who, I have embraced and accepted into my family. So, I've also built, a better relationship with Tremel, which I didn't really know Tremel at all going into this. And as well, I knew Akeem kind of like a little bit, but not well enough to say personally. So I got to know Akeem much better. We got to spend some private time. Now, I'm going to be honest, I don't know if all of that is going to make the final cut, but Akeem and I got to build our own relationship as well.
Did you go to Tremel's event on Saturday night?
I wasn't
Oh.
But if he would have invited me, I definitely would have been there to support him.
Because I know he had a little thing with his
people
they were filming or something like that.
We text each other and everything. And I'm very much the person on the cast that loves to support and try to bring unity to the group. And I know you may not see that now. We'll see more of that going. So I'm big on support. If Tremel would have invited me, I would have definitely been there. But no, I did not go, Teddy. It was no show.
Okay. I'm just
listen.
Out of control. The chat is completely left.
Yeah. Listen. Thank you guys so much. We about to end it because we have been up here for over an hour. We're about to end this interview right now, but our guy, thank you so much for reaching out and wanting to come up here and come down into the lion's den, honey, because it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? Being up here with these lions and lionesses. But I appreciate you for your authentic, for being real and saying your piece, saying how you feel, because that's what I like. Say what you mean and mean what you say. So is there anything else that you want people to know about you before we end this?
Yeah, I definitely want to say to you all, and every one of you, good, bad, and indifferent, I want you to know that me personally, I appreciate each and every one of you. I know the hard work that goes into what you all do, and I don't take it for granted because you could be reviewing and talking about a million other things, but you guys choose to pick GStatus, even if you don't always say the nicest things about me. I still love you guys and I appreciate it, and that comes from my heart. I see each and every one of you and I support your channels, and we need you guys. We will not survive without people like you. So I just want them to know that. And to the viewers who are watching us each and every week, we are growing along with the views. We're growing as a team, so just stay with us, keep supporting us. I love you guys, and you can always inbox me. You got a question you want to know, I'm open to it. Each and every one of you, you can DM me personally, anything you want to know. I'm an open book, and I just really appreciate you guys. So that's it. Make sure y'all follow me, The Art Guy, on most all social.
Yes, definitely make sure to follow everybody that y'all see here on the panel. Everybody has YouTubes. Everybody reviews the show and other shows and makeups because of Ebbie. For all y'all sorry hoes that don't know how to do, y'all too lazy to do your makeup, hit up Ebbie Reviews as well as our guy. Go on ahead. They go get y'all mugs together. All of and everything else, all of the shit talks and gags and giggles, y'all can hit us up with it. But all right, y'all, we about to get off here. I love each and every last one of you guys. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. And until next time, I'm going to let y'all later, Gert. Bye. I know I'm trying to end it.
Two.
Okay.